You're such an asshole.
Get situated here. How you guys doing? Asshole Consulting. Oh, the work never ends. The work never ends, which is a good thing, because you don't want the work to end, otherwise you die poor. Hi Aaron, I hope you're doing great. Here's a new video request for you. This is a regular client, and he always sends us easy ones. Please provide a quote. It is clear to all of us that women are so easily influenced by any social force. Media, pop culture, beauty and fashion industry, marketing, etc. They do so many things not because they want to, but because everyone else does. From attention whoring on YouTube and Instagram, to posting the same pictures like everyone else, to buying so many accessories they don't need, and destroying their faces and bodies with plastic surgery, tattoos, etc. And let us not forget completely worthless degrees, because social justice warrior, feel-goods, socialism, feminism, communism. If there is a line for breakfast, they will want to stand in it. I too have had to fight the girlfriend. She doesn't understand. She's good, and she'll say, but sometimes it's like, well, you know, it's only 15 minutes. I'm like, no, it's not only 15 minutes. It's 30 minutes, because both you and I are here, and my time is way too fucking precious to be sitting in a line with the sheep. Well, maybe it's like, nope, nope. You ladies want to close the wage gap, you don't wait in lines. That's one thing. I'll give Sheryl Sandberg one thing on that one. That's where you lean in. That's where you have a modicum of self-respect. Say, no, I'm not waiting in a line. I am not. But yeah, that's... You can see him in the line. Every guy's like, fuck. And all the women are like, we're waiting. I hope the omelet is good. And that's the other thing, not to sidetrack, but every time you go, oh, I heard it's a good breakfast place, you go there, it's the exact same as all the other breakfast places. The exact same. It's not like, wow, this is spectacularly amazing food. The only place like you go to where you get spectacularly amazing, is like measurably better, it tastes better, is Potbelly's. That's the only place where like, wow, this is a damn good sandwich. That's the only place. If a girl starts wearing yoga pants, that becomes a national epidemic within a year. Dude, I saw that with the cold shoulder. Look it up. None of you men know what that is. You girls know what it is, and now you're all shameful about it. And then the maxi dress. I wonder if they're going to make a return next spring. Because I remember every girl had to have a maxi dress and cold shoulders. Like, what? They just cut out the shoulders. That was it. No practical use. It wasn't fashionable. It was quite hideous, actually. Everyone's following the same path of mediocrity today, with virtually no exception, and without putting an ounce of independent thought into their behavior and choices. Even my girlfriend, who I very much appreciate, and who's quite excellent on many levels, exceptional on many levels, all too often bases her choices first and foremost on what everyone else is doing. I, of course, shut those ideas down quickly, a reminder of how unworthy this type of approach is. It's not approach, it's conformity, it's non-thinking. It's the opposite of individuality. Says we probably won't be able to change women's nature. No, you won't. I.e. their tendency to be so easily derailed by social forces. The only remaining solution must be bringing new forces into the equation that would drive women in the right direction. If that's one possible solution, whose job will it be to create these new forces? Men's? Women's? Both? And is this at all realistic? Thanks. And I won't mention his name. Oh, that's just an easy one there. Thanks. I'll just fly this one off the cuff. Alright, well, let's explain the background first, and I'll answer the specific questions. There are, of course, independent-minded women who do not conform. They do exist. However, as a group, yes. And the reason why, going back millions and millions of years ago, is while the men were all out hunting and gathering and killing and strategizing, we had to take calculated risk, and if we calculated risk, then we'd have big payoff, So men are a little bit more independent, genetically programmed-wise. Women, back at the huts or the caves or the fire or the camp, they had to deal with other women. And there could not be fighting, there could not be challenges, and so a survival strategy was conformity. Yeah, okay, we're all gonna do that, okay. And I'm not mocking that, that's a survival strategy because there's strength in numbers. We're gonna do it this way. Alright, well, you get some efficiency and economies to scale there. Also, it's just safe, and I'm sure after a long day of trying to bring down a mammoth, Mog came back home and didn't want to, all the hunters came back, and they didn't want to have the encampment all broiled up in some female dramatic fighting and hierarchy for independence. Now there's a different way that happens, more subtly and backstabby-like, to find out who's queen bee. But they didn't want no lip after coming back and hunting mammoth. They didn't want it. So, conformity is part survival strategy for both the men and the women on the part of women. It's also how it would work. And there was benefits to having okay, hey, economies of scale, we're all going to do this, and that's how it's going to happen. So this has been hardwired, the female mind, human female minds, at least for 2 million years. So that's why they are receptive. Just, and don't fault them for it, because just as you guys want to go bang a gal with big tits, long legs, and long hair, that's the exact same genetic programming these girls have to conform, among many other genetic predispositions that we have. So, but this doesn't moot the question the client has. It's like, okay, they're conditioned by social forces and conformity. I'll read it right here. Whose job will it be to create these new forces? Men's, women's, both, and is this at all realistic? Okay, let's talk about whose job it will be. It will be both men and women's, but in different roles. And again, here, I wouldn't even, in general, we'd speak in general terms, but in general, it would be men that determine the new route, the new social thing to conform to. And then there would be key women, the queen bees, the Oprahs, the the Rachel Rays, the ones who endorse it. And Oprah, almost a religious figure to many women. Whoever these, you could even say, she's a little bit too independent-minded. I was going to say there was the most successful female YouTuber, Jenna Marbles. I was going to say, well, she recommends it, but then again, I think the handful of videos I saw, she's actually more independent-minded than normal. But the prominent fashion bloggers and the prominent social bloggers on the female side of the equation, they'll say, oh, I like this thing, and oh, do you take essential oils? Oh my God, we're all going to take essential oils. Oh, did you get the cold shoulder? Oh my God, I got the cold shoulder. Hallelujah. So they're going to be, we would call them enforcers or right-hand men, but they'd be women and they'd endorse it. Now, of course, there are women that may come up with, and I'm sure they are in marketing, well, we're going to come up with this, we're going to come up with that. And there might be men that are enforcers. Who is it Harvey? Steve Harvey? The rather large, charming black gentleman, he does not The Price is Right, Family Feud. That's where the roles, the sex roles would be reversed, where he is an enforcer, or an endorser, let's put it that way, an endorser. He would say this, and women love, Harry Connick Jr. even has his own show that the girls like, Ellen DeGeneres, all right, you getting the idea. These are the marketers, these are the endorsers, this is, hey, go this way, and we're okay. But so it could be both men and women either saying, hey, we're going to, behind the scenes, behind the closed doors, let's cut out the shoulders and charge them an extra 300%. Brilliant, JW. Thank you, JC. And then they push that out into the marketing, and then the girls buy shirts without shoulders. And all the guys are like, why did they not have shoulders? I'm not sexually attracted to that. That's weird. Anyway, so that's what. So it is going to be both men and women in those two capacities, either the innovators of the new social roots, social direction we want to go. And then there are the marketers, the people that say, hey, you look at shiny bobble over here. Don't you want to go this way? See, cold shoulders, it breathes a little bit more. They say that if your shoulders are exposed, it lowers your chance of heart attack by 3%. And they say another perfect example. Who's the fake Australian doctor that the women, oh God, he just lies to him. He lies to him. Dr. Ross, another turd that Oprah dropped. Dr. Phil. Okay, you got it. Although Phil, I guess he does shoot him in the straight direction. Anyway, so there's both men and women will play a role either in creating these new social forces or marketing them and promoting them. Now, and is this at all realistic? Well, it is all realistic because that's what happens. Okay, I don't know what the new fashion will be. We had maxi dresses 5 years ago, cold shoulder 3 years ago. I don't know what the new thing will be. They'll come up with something. Don't worry, they'll come up with something. But in terms of getting, if you're asking for social forces to drive women back to being supportive, motherly, high quality wife material, I don't think that's there. And the reason why is the nature and the point and purpose why these entities, you could call it this marketing system or the media or the social media, whatever, the fashion industry, why they channel women to certain fashion trends or social trends or political trends. And this is highlighted, I think, no better than fashion. Specifically, is it Prada handbags? I know it's Jimmy Choo because I remember that name because it's funny. Jimmy Choo! Jimmy Choo Choo Train. So let's look, is it Prada handbags? Let's see what Prada handbags cost. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay. Just type in Prada handbags. Now, what is a handbag? Well, to carry your makeup and your stuff in. Okay, men have wallets. Maybe we got a backpack. Hey, Walmart's got a special where you go to my Amazon affiliate program and you can get yourself a wallet for $3 and a backpack for 10. Here, Prada, the cheapest one coming up right now is $460. Then you got $2,300, $1,900, $890, and here a Hermes Epson Kelly Seller, $11,000 for something that's made in China. Now, the incentive. Now, before I go, let's look up Jimmy Choo shoes. Let me ask Jimmy Choo shoes. Okay, let's see what this sells for on the internet. Okay, here we are. 2,000, 3,000. That's not a Jimmy Choo shoe. 1,100, 1,900. For shoes. Shoes! And what you realize is with the fashion industry, Prada handbag and Jimmy Choo shoes, their incentive is not moral. I wouldn't necessarily call it evil. Wouldn't call it evil. It's pushing it. I would say certainly it's the immoral desire to separate women from their money. Is to extract as much resources out of women as possible. Okay, now men, it's the same thing with cars. You dipshit me, you say, oh, those dumb women. Hey, here's $60,000 for a lease Beamer. Girls will like me because I got a great car. But going back to women, my point is with Jimmy Choo and Prada handbags is the people who are channeling women today are not the caveman Mog and Thog and Gorg who want calm and peace and children raised in safety and not yet another problem to waste precious calories of energy they don't have after taking down the woolly mammoth or failing to take down the woolly mammoth. And then Mog, Thog, and Rag are very upset. This type of conformity, they're capitalizing on women's predisposition to conformity. And they are, what's the markup on these things? That Prada handbag, that's got to be at least what does that handbag cost? $5 to make by Chinese slave labor? I mean, we're talking thousands of percent jacking up the prices. For what? Fashion? For carrying thing? It's prestige is what they're selling them in the fashion industry, whatever market value that happens to have, none. But my point is the incentives on the part of these trendsetters, these trend innovators, these people that set, hey, look, girls go this way, is not moral. It's highly profit motivated, and it's to the detriment of women. Exact same thing could be said about feminism and higher education, of which I think the two overlap each other significantly. Where you sell these women these worthless degrees with the you're gonna do good and warm fuzzies and fight the patriarchy and fight child hunger and you're gonna raise awareness and make a difference. All these platitudes that mean absolutely nothing. Along with the fact, oh, by the way, you don't have to do calculus or any hard work, and here's your degree, you gotta be successful, you gotta be amazing. Forget the Jimmy Choo shoes and forget that handbag I just saw for $11,000. $11,000 is dirt cheap compared to what these girls piss away and in debt and cripple their entire financial futures in terms of getting a worthless degree. 4 years of the youth, 6 of you go get a master's, because every girl's got to get a master's. We've seen these articles now how women own, 2/3 the debt now of national or student loan debt, and they make it, we're a victim. No, you were fools. You were sheep. You were the epitome of conformists, and you just hundreds of thousands at times for these worthless. I'm having to go to law school. I'm going to fight racism and social justice, and then they go to some third-tier law school that's in a strip mall, and and then their lives are ruined. $300,000 in debt, and they're 27 years old. Their lives have been ruined. And then feminism is the same thing. You go, girl, and they're not really charging them money as much as they're charging them their youth and sacrificing their chances with a man. Where you don't need a man, fish bicycle, patriarchy, and you're oppressed, and a guy hit on you, my God, that's harassment. Yeah, you're right. Wait. And they get the rah-rah feminism, they conform, they wear pink pussy hats, and they all fly to D.C. at their own expense. And they may have that camaraderie. You could even say camaraderie is a little bit better than a shoe that's going to go out of fashion next year. But in the end, they got good feels, but they sacrificed family, children, husband, love, happiness, joy, blah, blah, blah. And if you believe in predestined genetic, propagating your genes into the future, I'm not going to go argue that route, but that's what they sacrificed. That's what it cost them. So, to answer your question, is this realistic? It's very realistic. It's 100% realistic. But whether they're going to go the right way or not, I don't think that's going to happen, because everybody involved in conditioning, programming, and brainwashing and channeling women towards fashion and trends, be it financial, fashion, education, politics, all these people have their primary motivating incentive as to profit and capitalize and take advantage of women as much to the extent as possible. They really do use them like a Kleenex. It's like, toss away. And for once, maybe some women who are listening to this who are on the left might see the point I'm trying to make. Because I am on your side, even though I tell you things you don't like to hear. So everyone who's an expert at this has amoral incentives, a profit motive, not an improvement motive to help out women or make them happy or improve their life. So that then leaves it to people who are outside the female programming, brainwashing, channeling, conformist industrial matrix, which is going to be what? Republican men, conservative women, traditional women. I hate to split down political lines because it isn't really political, but, the not cool crowd. And you also have to keep in mind the literally trillions of dollars that is spent, not every year, but certainly $500 billion every year, spent on brainwashing girls from kindergarten to college by the state. And let's not forget what corporations spend. So you are talking maybe trillions of dollars a year programming women to buy this and buy this toy, buy that, and they do it to men too. Who can compete with that? And here's the other thing. You want to start a social trend, be it political fashion, we could say fashion. Stop tatting up your faces. Stop piercing your tongues. Stop shaving your head. Stop wearing purple. They are already so preconditioned to say, "Oh, you're just patriot. You're trying to control me. You don't trust anyone over 30, man." They're already conditioned to not like they're all running away. They've all been programmed to run away from beauty, intelligence, true independent thought. Conservatism, I don't mean that politically, but more traditionalism, how they've all been so that it's a hard sell because you're selling against what they've been conditioned to buy. And then, let's just admit it. I don't know if you've gone to a Republican meeting, not to say this is all Republican. Republicans suck. They're horrible at marketing. They're absolutely horrible. Libertarian, Republican type of people, if you go to their parties, their meetings, they don't have their shit together. They're absolutely, and they're definitely not trendsetters. They cannot make it cool. Now, I can make it cool, and I've tried to go on to read it. They wanted me, remember I went and I talked to a Republican group. How can we get young men into the Republican Party. And I told them, you gotta sex it up, you gotta get girls, I went through a whole bit. Nothing. Crickets chirping. So I don't think there's anyone in the non-conformist world that has the innovation and creativity to do so. There might be one or two, but their infrastructure isn't there. There's no system by which they can do it. What was I going to say? So they don't have the innovation. Oh, and the other thing I was going to point out is that this is a paradox for Republicans. So what is the job of the Democrat Party? What is the job of feminists? What is the job of any political or marketing organization? It's to make money off of its victim group. Okay? Professors and college administrators make money off of the students. The Democrat Party makes money off of minorities, women, and anyone else that they can say, hey, we're going to replace your family with the government. We're going to give you free stuff. And that's why Baltimore and Detroit and all this, that's why Democrats' families are just so wonderful. They just have such success. What is the goal of the fashion industry is to make money off of young girls so they go into debt to buy shoes that they really can't afford and are totally not worth the $3,000 they spent. That's their job, is to parasite and profit and live off of that victim group. What's the job of nonconformists? I hate to use Republicans or conservatives, but let's just say nonconformists. What's the job of people who aren't in that industry? Using the Democrat-Republican Party, well, Republicans typically are too damn busy working a real job. Their goal is not to live off of their constituents. That's not their goal. Their goal is to be a farmer, to be a mechanic, to be a carpenter, to be a doctor, to be a programmer. They are busy living in the real world. The Democrat Party, however, its main goal, its main job is to live off of other people, not produce its own stuff. So they have their incentive, their main is to sell this lie, to sell this propaganda, to sell this trend, this fashion, this conformity to its victim group. The Republicans they don't have that experience. They don't have the experience in marketing, brainwashing, conforming, and propagandizing. We just don't, because it's like, well, no, the government should leave everything alone, and we're just going to live our lives. It's not the Democrats. Like, government should control everything, and you should do this, you should take that, blah, blah, blah. So that's the know-how and expertise is not there in the nonconformist world. So what I have seen, and so in other words, to answer your question, and is all of this realistic? It's realistic if you're going to sell them what they want to hear. Okay. Once again, why I'm going into the world of lies. And now with Rouge being, 9 of his books being banned on Amazon, apparently Amazon, okay, fine, I'm going to shove lies up everybody's ass. So as long as you're selling what people want to hear, yes, it's very realistic. Very. Like, there you got to compete who tells the bigger lies. So the eyes and teeth girl, the gal who got elected, the communist that got elected over in New York, she sold better and bigger lies than her Democrat counterpart. She was like, we're going to do free everything, free jobs, yay. I'd be like, yay, we're stupid. Don't think about how it's going to happen, yay. And in Venezuela, that's where they got to compete, is who's going to tell the better, bigger lie. Ooh, these shoes are nicer than those shoes. Ooh, this thing's the new thing and that thing's the old thing. You don't want to be in the old thing. Oh, no, I don't want to be in the old thing. So that's where they compete, and they're really good at telling lies. But let's just admit it, those of us who work honest jobs and live moral lives, we're not in the business of lying to people. We're not in the business of selling them things they don't need. Like, yeah, you need, when a mechanic says, well, not always, but when a mechanic says, yeah, you need more transmission fluid, you probably need more transmission fluid. When Prada or whoever is in charge of Prada says, you need these shoes, you don't need those shoes. So, it's realistic if you want to sell lies. It's not realistic if you want to sell truth. Because the lies are always going to beat the truth. We are not talking smart people. I'm not talking women. I'm talking people in general. Alright? So I wrote the book, Curse of the High IQ. My God, our people should go. All you dumb shit guys are going to go watch that football game. I know it. All you guys with the other man's jersey, you're going to hork down your wings and drink your beer and watch your team. It's on both sides. Alright? But no, it's not going to work. There's not. The only time I've seen it work is in like microcosmic examples, where a girl starts dating a guy and the guy just basically tells her no. And I've seen it a handful of times, and this is where I do believe women deep down inside, you're not going to undo 2 million years of evolution programming. But the only way you can do it is on an individual basis, where a girl really likes a guy says, I saw this guy, he says, you're not doing your drugs anymore, and not illegal drugs. He's talking like, no, you're not on Ritalin, you're not on anti-anxiety, I'm not dating you if you're on that bullshit. He just, nope. And you're going to be at home. I'm expecting a wife. I expect meals to be cooked. I expect my children to be taken care of. He basically just says, you're going to be June Cleaver. And if you don't like it, bye. And a lot of girls, not all of them, but a lot of girls inevitably will just take the feminist bullshit and throw it away. Because now their genetics are screaming out. Like, oh, you will? Okay, that feminist, I was just joking about that. But I'm an independent-minded woman. Another guy, there was a gal, she had horses. Horses, yay! I love the horses. And, I'm not having premarital sex. And the guy says, bullshit. You're going to suck my dick. You're getting rid of the damn horses. Now they're married. So, now keep in mind, you got to be an attractive enough man that the girl really wants you. And then the girl will do anything because she wants you more than she wants the Prada shoes. Or at least an out where you're like, no. So that's about the only way I could see non-conformists in the non-marketing world, the non-conformist industry, trying to get women to go a different route, but it's not going to be a trend. It's going to be on an individual basis. You could even say MGTOW is an example of men just saying, nope, we're not going to do it. It's not as literal like you're going to do X, Y, and Z, and you're going to knock it off with this rah-rah, anything you can do, I can do better, when you painfully obviously can't. That is kind of a trend setting where men are leaving the marriage market when we're getting older and older, but I don't think, since it's not communicated, men just go ghost. They go away. They're not leaving a suicide note saying, this is why I left, and you really ought to rethink things. That's not what's happening. Men are just going away. And I even wrote an article about it. I had a buddy who was 45 at the time, and she was shocked to find out. She's like, well, where are the men my age? I said, well, they're at home. Well, how are they going to find a girl? And I'm like, they're not. Well, what do you mean they're not? I'm like, well, they don't want to. They're done. They've been divorced. They did this. They did that. They're tired, They wasted the first half of their life chasing new girls, and you stood them up. You played games and mind games and all that crap. Then you divorced them, and they want nothing to do with it. Now they're happy. They're not going to waste the second half of their life dealing with that BS. And the shock on her face, like, so they just don't want to go out? I'm like, well, they might, but they're not going to seek it out. You're going to have to go find them, and I don't know where you're going to find them. This is before the online dating and all that. The point is that women will slowly start to realize it, but it's in absence of men. Where have all the good men gone? Why can't I find a man? The gal who becomes the cat lady, and 50's the new 30 and all that other stuff. And they lie and they cry themselves to sleep at night and they don't know why. But that's the thing, is they don't know why. There was no clear guy saying, you're going to knock it off with your anti-anxiety bipolar meds. Not going to happen here. You're going to lose some weight, and if you want to be with me, you're going to be a wife. All right? You're going to get in that house. You're going to make sure it's clean when I get home. You're going to have a meal ready for me, and you're going to take care of the goddamn children. And in exchange, I will go to that sucky-ass job and suffer the goddamn commute and make the money dealing with idiots at marketing meetings or whatever else. But that's a clear one-on-one conversation, not this broadcasting of marketing and sales and commercials and propaganda and, freshman orientation and Jezebel.com or Exojane or anything like that. That just broadcasts daily, telling women to go this way, go this way, go this way. You might be able to pick them off one. So no, you're not going to be able to set trends. You put me in charge of, not necessarily the Republican Party, although that might be a vehicle. I have some ideas. I'm not saying it's impossible. But again, I have more important shit to do. I have way more important stuff to do than try and become some marketeer or salesman on the side of traditionalism or non-conformity or independent mind. That's sad. Like, you gotta. Here's another. Think about this. This is funny. This is sad, but they're so good. The propaganda industry, again, not just the Democrat Party or feminists or marketing, but they're so good. They have these people conforming, thinking they're all independent-minded. That is, again, I say that's the coup d'etat. That's where I give the left a hat tip, where it's like, you got all of them to think the exact same way and to actually believe they're independent-minded. I had a client where his son was going to school, and 100% of his students, his classmates, all hate Trump. And yet, I bet you they all think they're independent-minded. All the women, we're going to vote for Hillary. We're independent-minded. It's like, no, it's brilliant. You sold them conformity and packaged it as independent-mindedness. Oh, it's brilliant. Just brilliant. They're masters at it. They're masters. But you're not going to stop it, dude. It's just, you might find one really cool, classy guy. But and that's because the Republicans don't get in there early enough, and Republicans send their kids to the public schools. They start at preschool now. They start at 3 or 4 years old with the propaganda. But you guys, we're too busy to have conversations with our children about politics and independent-mindedness and not getting their hair colored and tattooed and all this other stuff. Don't worry, our teachers will raise them for us. And then you wonder why they come out brainwashed robots. Perfectly susceptible and programmable to whatever entity or business or money-making operation, be it political or profitable or private company, can sell them anything. What? $200,000 for an MBA? Okay, I'll sign on the line. Well, I need to get bailed out. So, yeah, I'm sorry. And maybe Republicans or conservatives, non-conformists just don't have it in them to brainwash little kids. Maybe we have morals that, we can't violate. It's like, well, that poor kid who killed himself, 9 years old in Denver, he thought he was gay. And then, I guarantee you the teachers in the Denver public schools are like, you can come out anytime you want, and it's okay, it's great, it's proud. And the mom, divorced, deadbeat mom, well, I'm proud that he's so brave, and he says, I think I want to come out as gay in the 4th grade. Any father, any guy, anyone who was truly not a conformist was said, no. Wait till you're 15, okay? Just wait, son. Fine, we love you, you're gay, that's great. But you know what? Wait till you're 15. Nope. You go, you should be proud. And then the kids picked on him, which was completely predictable, and the kid killed himself, which is sad and tragic. But I think, at least you could live with yourself that you're not selling lies, you're not selling conformity, you're not selling propaganda. Because let the kids be your freaking kids. Leftists, marketeers, media, government, they have no moral qualms about just packing those kids' brains with a bunch of leftist, Marxist, consumerist BS. Oh, it's sad. All right. Hope that answered your question. Terribly sorry. This is going to go on the blog. If you guys want to help out the old captain, go through my Amazon affiliate program, which is linked down below. You can find that in the comment section. Or not comment section, description. They got all the other stuff, books and everything else like that. Buy books. If you want to donate money, you can. There's a Patreon link there. I just do all your shopping through my Amazon affiliate program instead. That way it doesn't cost you anything more. I get a commission. And then check out the Older Brother podcast and the Cleary podcast. You can find that by searching it. And they're on the same RSS feed. We'll see you all later. Toodles.